Oh, that's so unprofessional. It would help to have the camera set up ahead of time, wouldn't it? Oh, that's so unprofessional. It is. To have the You're right. Okay, but we know the sound works. Let's have that light on. Also forgot to turn the kitchen area light on as well. Alrighty, this is the Ramsey Show. It's a Good Friday edition of the Ramsey Show After Show. I'm Coach Steve Money, I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. I'm looking right here now to the live YouTube stream and I see my bald head. So don't ever lean over like that again, Steve, other than that one time. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you would like to see any of my other financial content, you can just scroll down past the Oak Island. If you go to videos, I just did a reaction to the first episode of season 2 of The Last of Us. Just posted that today. And don't know what we'll be doing anymore because HBO Max is crazy with their copyright, so I don't get any money from those at all for doing that particular show. So I don't know if I'll do the rest of them or not. Maybe just because I like Last of Us so much. But anyway, below the Oak Island playlist, you see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, and today is show number 524 on this Good Friday. And the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist has 138 in those, and there are 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in the music playlist. Listen to those if you dare. Singing is not my regular job. Alrighty, so the market report. There is none because it's closed today for Good Friday. So let's jump right into the questions. And today we have the Facebook group questions. Now the subreddit, reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey is not run by Ramsey Solutions, it's run by fans. The Ramsey Baby Steps community on Facebook is run by Ramsey Solutions. There are other Ramsey groups, including dating groups on there as well, Ramsey dating groups. 3 the last time I checked, but that has been a long time ago. But this is the only one that has that on there. Now we don't have any usernames or anything like that because the usernames are usually the people's actual names on the Facebook. So I don't have that on there. So let's get started. My last credit card gone. Now on to a small personal loan, then auto and school loans left. I see the light, and you see the recent transaction. There it is. And I guess that's the balance, and that would be a 0. I'm getting a 5% raise. My shovel just got bigger. Great. Feeling real discouraged at the moment. At this time last year, we were in baby steps 4, 5, 6. Now we are all the way back to baby step 1. Life happened, as they say. Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with that. The life happened. Some of that are things that you are choosing to spend money on. Now, when you have a major car repair like they did, apparently, unexpected tax bill, I've had to go back into debt. You do not have to go back into debt to pay an unexpected tax bill. You can work out a payment with them, with the IRS. So that's a NAR. Also, hey, guess what? If you are working a side hustle or you get a raise or something like that and your tax withheld doesn't go up, guess what? You're going to owe more taxes, so that's your fault. That's not life happening to you. That's your dumbness happening to you. And so you had to go into debt? No, you didn't have to. You chose to. There could be other ways. There could be your major car repair. Maybe you call that quits on that. And instead of spending all the money on a major car repair, maybe you buy a beater for a few $1,000 instead. So you're the one that's choosing to go back into debt. You're the one that's doing this. Let's see, I feel very, very discouraged about being able to actually get back on the plan. There's never enough. Well, again, it's also how you run your life and what you allow to be a thing that causes you to be derailed from the Ramsey advice. So the unexpected tax bill, again, okay, you should have known, but you didn't. But you can just work out a payment plan with the IRS instead of borrowing the money. That's dumb as crap. Borrowing the money to then give to somebody that you could just arrange a payment plan with is dumb as crap. And so, I mean, you're thinking about, are you trying to like save the penalty for not paying on time? Is that what you're trying to do and think that'll be less? Whatever interest you're paying will be less? Don't quit doing that dumb crap. And again, the major car repair, if the car is not worth it, you don't do that. And if you don't have the money, you also don't do that. So that means all of the full emergency fund was used. If you're back to step one, because that means you don't even have $1,000 in there yet. So, I mean, things happen. Certainly you'll have unplanned expenses like that, and even emergencies and so forth, where it would be necessary to deplete the emergency fund. But some of this stuff is your choice. You do have a choice about going into debt to take care of these things. You did not have to go into debt with the IRS. You could have arranged a payment plan. Stop being dumb. How much should I have in checking account once I'm done baby step 3? There's not a particular number. People are nutty. The way they think about things, I don't get it. Your expenses are not going to be the same as any other person's. Your income, your household income isn't going to be the same as any other people's. So you should have at least enough to get to the next paycheck, to pay all your bills and get to the next paycheck. You should have an emergency fund. And I mean, that could be in your checking account, but you should at least put that in a savings account. So that wouldn't be in there. So I don't know. I don't even know why you're asking this question. I don't know what this is for, but this was all that was on there. Is there a way to tweak the steps for renters? The book seems to assume everyone already has a mortgage and a house. Thanks. Okay, well, there's no need to tweak the steps. People are nutty, always trying to change the steps or tweak them. How about, let's see. So if you see on the steps, I don't have them. Yeah, there they are today. So if you see the steps, right, and you don't have a house, look, you can do steps 1 through 5. And if you get done with step 5 and you're still investing, and you don't have a mortgage, guess what? You're on step 7. Congratulations. It doesn't apply to you. You get to skip it. Now, it is advised that you get a house, because that way, instead of just paying rent, paying somebody else's mortgage, you're actually paying off your own, as Rachel said in an ad today on the Ramsey Show. It was a best of. And now they're doing a new thing where they edit together different calls, or like a couple calls in a row from different shows, instead of just playing one entire previous show. Of course, the Ramsey crew off today due to Good Friday. So yeah, and I would think you could figure that out, that that doesn't apply to me, so I can just skip that step. The same thing, why didn't you ask about the kids? If you don't have any kids, step 5 doesn't apply to you either, now does it? So Guess what? Hey, guess what? It's all about paying off debt, right? That's the main thing. What if you don't pay off debt? You can still do the baby steps, and then you get to skip 2, and that would be the best one to skip, probably. People are nutty, man. People are nutty. So you don't need to tweak it. You just need to be smarter here. And just try to think about how you might be misinterpreting something, or like another way to think about it. But I mean, some people obviously can't. They're stuck in the way that they want to think about it. And a lot of people choose to be stuck in the way that they think about something. Like the guy in the Ramsey Show chat today that was talking about the average household income in America, and he asked about that, and then he said, well, I think this much is what I consider to be. It doesn't matter what you consider to be. That doesn't mean what you consider to be the average doesn't mean that that's the actual average. So that's nutty. You can't just shut out all the facts and just go with whatever you're making up in your head. Let's see. I cannot believe the day is finally here. Just posted our last student loan payment, and we are officially consumer debt free. Excellent. How long before it actually feels real? Well, that's going to be different with different people. I would imagine even more so after you are not, after you're done with the full emergency fund. It might be a gradual change. It might just hit you, a couple weeks from now. It just might hit you with when you are not sending any more money to any debts, like the student loan payment especially. If you don't have to send money to that like you have been every week or every paycheck or every month, however often you sent it, when you don't have to do that, then that might be why you're not, or when you feel it. It just different people, different times. I legit feel, could have left legit out, but anyway. The legit feel, that's just another way of saying honestly or to be honest. Just be honest. Don't say that. Just be legit. Don't say you're being legit. I feel like for me, it's a dream. If you are on this path, remember dreams do come true when you consistently work them. Right. And that's not a dream. That is a little thing we like to call reality. I have a good start to my 403B through my job, but just notice that they have a Roth option as well. All right. Yep. Would it be wiser to keep investing in the pre-tax option to compound the money already there, or start putting money in the Roth option as well? Any ideas? Okay. Well, so you see, in your regular 403B, the amount of money is there, right? It's in that, right? And that's compounding, right? Okay. If you have them open up a Roth 403B additionally, and that you just leave everything in the 403B, because to convert it, that would be a tax. That would be a tax event, because you previously are using the pre-tax. It goes in pre-tax. So you're not paying the taxes on the regular 403B, just the same you don't do that on the regular 401k. But there are Roth 401ks and Roth 403Bs, and that is better because that is tax-free gains. And if you are in the market for any amount of considerable time, the gains are going to be way more than the contribution. So that's going to be way less tax that you have to pay. And especially, you're not paying that tax when you're in retirement, which makes the amount of money you need to have for retirement easier to achieve. But the issue here is, okay, so the 403b in this hand, the Roth 403b in this hand, if you put it all here and have it grow, doesn't mean that if you take X amount out of it and put it here, or you just leave what's in there, it's still going to be the same as all being all together. It's going to be the same amount of money if it's invested in the exact same mutual funds inside each one. And so that's what I would assume you would do if you are happy with the ones that are in there. And of course, the ones that are in that 403b, that should be making 10% or more average per year, beating the S&P 500 index. But yeah, so a lot of people think that, and that's why they think, oh, well, I'll save up a bunch of money and then I'll put it in the market, or I'll save up a bunch of money and then I'll put it towards debt. No, both of those are wrong. You put it as you have the money, like out of every paycheck, because the more often you do that, the more growth that's going to be in the market, and the more often you send money to debt, the less interest you pay, because that interest goes down every time you send $1 to that debt. Then that's going to be less interest that you pay. So that's why you don't save it up and then apply it in either case, paying off debt or investing. Need help? Situation. I have 2 checking accounts. Okay, why? First of all, why? Need to know the reason. My direct deposit goes through Navy Federal Credit Union. My bill paying account, ABNB, I don't know what that is. But so you see, why do you have both? Why don't you just have your direct deposit go through ABNB? What is the problem here? People who know Navy Fed doesn't transfer over to ABNB and vice versa. Yeah, why not? What's wrong with ABNB? Is it a crap bag? I don't know what that is. Let's see what that is. I am curious. That's not it. Search only for ABNB. ABNB Federal Credit Union. Okay, that's another one. I wonder why you can't do transfers between them. Oh well, you can't. Okay, and so the other idea that I have for you. How about you either pay your bills out of Navy Federal Credit Union too, or you go to even a third bank, close both of these, and use one more. Why do you have to have separate? And I'm kind of lazy when it comes to driving up in person to withdraw just to transfer. It's more work to have more than one checking account. Why do you need 2 checking accounts? I mean, is it because your money gets too tight, so you don't want where your direct deposit goes into and also where your bill paying account is? So what's the deal with that? And so stop being lazy when it comes to money, first of all. Question is, how do I budget with multiple checking accounts and save for the future? You do it the same exact way. So this person is nutty. Multiple checking accounts, you would do it the same way, just like two of the different retirement accounts in that last question, which was what, Roth 403 and Roth 403b. And the regular 403b, whether you have a bunch in this one, and if you put $1 into the other one, that's still going to be the same total when you add both of them together. And so it's still the same total if you add both of the same checking accounts together in this situation. But why do that? If you want to be lazy, have one checking account. If you don't, then as I said, it's easy to figure out. Just stop being lazy. And use your mind and realize that, oh, if I put both the numbers of my balance of both checking accounts, then that's the number I would have in one checking account. Yes, it is. And then that way you can figure it out like that. And save for the future. How you save money is you do not spend it on anything. That's how you do that. So nutty, man. You would think sometimes you get better questions and than in the Reddit, in the actual Ramsey run group, the Ramsey Baby Steps community, where these questions come from. But these people have been nutty so far today. Can someone tell me where the situation lies on the baby step spectrum? There's not a spectrum. It's the baby steps. You're doing them or you're not doing them. Am I missing opportunities by keeping 40K plus sinking funds in high yield savings account versus index funds and cash flowing as the need, I guess, arises? I'm hoping to retire in 2 to 7 years. So you're talking about market versus high yield savings account. Okay. So you would not have extra savings beyond the full emergency fund other than sinking funds. Yeah, that's it. Other than just sinking funds is the only thing you would have other savings for other than the full emergency fund while you do not have your house paid. Let's see if it says mortgage, no consumer debt carried, but house still. No own home, no mortgage. Okay, so no consumer debt, no mortgage debt. Okay, so no debt. So assuming step 7 then. Okay, so yeah, so you can do any of this crap you want to, but the idea of putting it in the market, you would need for absolutely 100% certainty that you would not need that money for 5 years because the market could be down. Like, for example, say you put it in 2 years ago, everything was going great, right? And you're probably still up overall, but if you needed it today, it's going to be down from the previous high a few months ago. And so that's the problem with the market. And you don't have that problem with the market, but of course it doesn't make more overall usually in the high yield savings account. So my name is Paul, and that's between y'all what you do with it. But that's why you wouldn't put it in the market if you were concerned about the second that you needed it, the market would be down at that point. So if you're worried about the market being down at any point, then that's when you would do the high yield savings account on that. Let's see, 1 year. Oh, speaking of stuff, 1 year emergency fund. I mean, again, on step 7, knock yourself out. But like, if you still had a mortgage payment, this would be a NAR here on that. That 12,000 for the other 6 months, that would be going to the mortgage. What up, Jimmy T? Sinking funds, home improvement. See all this too on step 7. Oh, it's fine. You do it as long as you don't go into a lower baby step like debt. Home improvement, 12,000. What is why is it 15K next there? Somebody has to just hit the wrong key. One of those is wrong. Why do you? I don't understand what that is. I don't know what the parentheses mean. Sorry, I can't figure it out. Because this one is the same one. This one is $2,000 for this vacation sinking fund. Home improvement one is $3,000 more. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's that's how much you want it to be in it, and there's only this much in it. Maybe on both of these. It is, or it's current because it's not. It's going to be a while before the home improvement and before the next winter vacation. That may be it. They just don't have enough. So, but we don't need to know. We don't need to get that involved with your life to know that. So you don't need to put that in there. No sinking fund for the car. Okay. I mean, none of this matters. I was just curious to look at it. Other retirement 360 of adult kids on it. You're right. So step 7, so you can do whatever you want and have whatever savings and whatever investings you want. You can invest as much as you want. But the problem is, you said that's sinking funds, right? So the second you want to go on vacation, what if the market's down right then? Then you're losing out on money. Maybe not as theoretically, like if you had done this 2 years ago, you would still be up overall. It wouldn't be completely down, but you wouldn't have as much as you had a few months ago. But you would have more than if it wasn't a high yield savings account. So that depends on your tolerance for the market being down when you want to take the money out. But yeah, you can do either. I am 2 months away from being debt free. I am starting to plan for baby step 3. Of course, people love to plan and project all the steps ahead of time, for sure. I'm wondering about the specifics. I currently have sinking funds for the vet, my cell phone bill, which I paid yearly. Okay, and that's good to do because normally you save money when you do that. And if not, switch to a discount carrier. What is it? Mint Mobile or Visible. And there's other ones as well. Car repairs, etc. Do I save a fully funded emergency fund, which would be about $15,000, and my sinking funds, or do I just have it all in one account, and once I hit $15,000, I'm okay to go? Well, see, how do you know that $3,000 is going to cover all of your what your sinking funds need to be? So, I mean, if you can keep it straight in your head, that's up to you. But then you wouldn't touch the emergency fund to do any sinking fund stuff. That's when you start to get in trouble. When you combine it like that, and then you start to tap into the emergency fund to do sinking fund stuff, then that's would be a problem there. And so, but if you can keep it separate in your mind, then you can have it in one account. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, you pulled, which would be about 15,000. Probably, sorry, said that up there. So you're just estimating what it would be. Or do I sort out those sinking funds that are rainy day type funds from the sinking funds that are upcoming expenses type funds? The way you have to do it is how you have to do it so you can keep track of it and separate in your mind. So if all of it together is fine, that's fine. If 2 accounts are fine, and you can do just checking and just a savings account that you can put all the sinking funds in, and the emergency fund in, that's fine as well. Or if you have to go to 3 accounts, whichever way you have to do it to keep yourself straight so that you don't do dumb stuff and use emergency fund for sinking fund stuff. I'm asking here because I know there are a lot of people who are smarter than me when it comes to 401k stuff. Well, let's see if I know it. Situation, I work in a private dental practice, and the doctor is wanting to retire in 5 years. He partnered with a management company last August to help transition. We haven't liked the steps along the way, but still in it to win it. I don't know what that means, dog. Until yesterday. Insert terrible foreshadowing music here. Okay, thank you for the stage directions. The company is changing our 401k stuff, okay? The doctor was matching 3%, as most companies do. There's not a law how much they match. And when the new guys took over, that was still the case. Yesterday, they came in and said that they are changing it. And while still honoring the 3% match, they will no longer give it to us in each paycheck, but rather hold it until the end of the year. Yeah, so if they're holding it, guess what? They're making money on it by holding it. Yeah, that's sus to me, because yeah, they're making money on it then, and you want to make sure that it's not at the behest of the doctor. It might have been the doctor's idea for that, and the company is just the messenger. Don't know. Then they can either deposit the full amount into our 401k or give us the lump sum as a bonus with no penalty. Is this a thing? It's probably a thing, and it's probably fine to do it that way. Lump sum as a bonus with no penalty. I don't know that they can do that on a match. If it's I mean, there's specific laws regarding a match, so I think if it's a match, it has to be a match. And you can't just dole it out as a bonus with no penalty. I don't think you can do that. So yeah, that I would look further into that. You can Google it and see, but there's specific laws about matching. Including one where they, like with the 403B, and the 403B Roth, same as with the 401k and the 401k Roth, you cannot put a match amount into a Roth account. So you would still have to have both accounts open anyway. I just paid a stupid tax because I didn't read the fine print. Yeah, read the fine print. Yeah, don't do that. Don't ever rent from CarWiz or Carzy. They have limited mileage in their terms, and they charge you a whopping $1.15 per mile over your allowance. So it just got a $177 bill on top of paying gas and the rental fee. I didn't know rentals like this existed. Thankfully, I have the money in savings to cover this, but from now on, I'm avoiding those companies. Yeah, and you read the fine print. Hopefully this helps someone else before they make the same mistake. Yeah, it might help somebody, for sure. Oh, let's see. We're officially debt-free to all the single mamas, to all the single mamas, to all the single mamas out there who for sure have been told you won't make it on your own or your child will suffer. Trust me, you got this. I went from near foreclosure and extreme debt to paying off a mortgage and being debt-free. Excellent. So many tears, so many times of wanting to give up, but I kept at it. Excellent. I didn't for my son. Oh, I did it for my son, but I also did it for me. Absolutely. It benefits both of you to no end. Now into baby step 3. Please keep going. It's so worth it. That much is certain. I literally want to cry. I bought a low mileage 2017 Highlander. Greetings, Highlander. 7 months ago, and now the transmission has failed at 106K. My VIN does not qualify for the recall for some 17 to 18 models, and Toyota basically told me to pound sand. Yep. I owe 10K on it. This is why we don't finance vehicles. We don't get loans because of this type of dumb crap. Anyway, owe 10K on it, put 14K cash down, and had 24K, depending on what baby step you're on, was excessive for a vehicle. You're doing it wrong. And I had projected to pay it off by September of this year. Yeah, especially it's ridiculous because you put some of it on debt. A rebuilt transmission around 6,500 that I do not have. I drive 500 miles a week for work. That's a lot, and we'll lose my job over this. So I'm really panicking. Okay, so if you are definitely going to lose your job, there's no need to panic because then that's going to happen, and so you need to get another job, a different job. And so, does that mean if you don't get another car or get it repaired soon, is that what that means? Overreacting. I thought Toyotas were reliable. Well, I thought that you don't put apostrophe to make something plural, too, and that happened apparently. Yeah, that doesn't mean you're not going to have any problems with any of them ever. I cannot afford another car either. Hey, guess what? Oh, you don't have the 6,500. Yeah. So, I mean, that would be the thing. You do have to get it fixed or buy a new car. So, if you have $2,000, buy a $2,000 car. Cannot afford another car either. Should I try to sell it as is and take a huge loss? Yes, because money's already gone. Money's already gone. At best case scenario, I mean, hopefully you could sell it for the amount that you owe still on it, but you won't be able to with a bad transmission. You don't borrow money from debt is not fixing your problem. It didn't the first time, right? You're seeing that now, and it's not either, especially when you involve family. That's a no. No loans ever. Why you're on the Dave Ramsey run by Ramsey Solutions Facebook group. What the heck is wrong with you? I really love this thing other than the transmission issue. Tough. I'm going to tell you to pound sand now. It doesn't matter. Things that don't matter for 800, Alex. I don't care if you love it or not. That's got nothing to do with what is going to happen. Yeah, you have to sell it for whatever you can get for it, and you still have to pay it off. And you have to get another vehicle. You can't finance something and then just say, I thought Toyotas were reliable. Stop whining, be an adult, and deal with it. You might have to sell some other dumb crap that you have. If you have other debt, stuff that you bought with the other debt, or anything else, and you can work more as well. But yeah, if you are going to lose that job, you need to find another one. Whining though, is not going to fix anything. That's not going to change anything. I'm debt free. Another one. Hey everyone, I'm 20-year-old college student from Melbourne, is how they say it. Melbun. Even though it's spelled Melbourne, they say Melbourne, Australia. I discovered Dave Ramsey's start of 2024, and towards the end of last year, I decided to get intense about paying off a car loan my parents had taken out to purchase me a car when I turned 18. Isn't that great? When parents do stuff like that. I mean, my dad co-signed for mine too, so I mean, I can't say anything about that part. Yeah, I was dumb as crap as well. But check that out, debt free in Melbourne, Australia, and that means, hey, guess what? You can do it in different countries. Doesn't just have to be United States. There was about 15,000 left. I don't have any student loans. I pay college tuition as I go. Fabulous. Wicked smart. So even I paused college to gather as much cash as I could to pay off this car. Okay, great. I increased my working hours, an assistant teacher at a high school, and even sold my precious drum kit for $4,000. Yep. I mean, unless you're using that drum kit to make, side hustle money, that is a good idea to do. As of the 13th of April, I paid my last payment and transferred the car registration to my name. I'm finally debt free. Anyone can do it at any age. That much is certain. getting married in September this year, and this is the best way to start off our marriage. Fabulous. If you haven't talked to her about money before, now is the time, sir, before you get married. We owe $2,900 in taxes. I'm just not sure how. If your income went up, but the amount being withheld did not go up, hey, we never owed before. My husband started a side hustle teaching martial arts, and he's a 1099. Hey, guess what? On 1099s, they don't keep cash, I don't believe. I don't think they do that on any 1099s. They certainly haven't on all the 1099 forms that I have seen, and I've seen quite a few. So, your fault for not knowing and not realizing. I mean, you should know how much you're getting paid and whether any taxes are taking out. That might be something you might want to take a gander at your first couple of paychecks. You made about double that amount. I think we made the mistake of not paying quarterly, but also maybe not itemizing. If it was, so if you made $5,800 in that, I don't think you have to do quarterly. I think it has to be a higher amount of income before they require you to do quarterlies. And the reason, if it gets to a certain amount of income, that they want you to pay them quarterly is so that crap like this doesn't happen. That's why they do that. Is it too late to submit all that if I had a tax preparer do it? What? Oh, to submit all that? I don't know how many days ago this was. So, I mean, you can do an amended one at any time. There could be fees, penalties, so forth, involved. But, I mean, you can amend it to do that. But how do you know that you owe that? If you knew you owe that, like if your tax preparer said that you owe that, then you just pay it. And that's it. So, are you talking about, you think some itemizing will take care of that? You have to have a lot of itemization these days. Since they, how many years ago? Maybe 3 or 4 years ago at least. Maybe a little bit longer than that. I can't remember. But since the standard deduction was raised, most people, it doesn't make sense to itemize. But yeah, you can amend a return at any time. ETA, I found out didn't have federal withholding on my part-time job. Yeah, that's a 1099. So you do need to be looking out for that. And I don't know that they withhold on any 1099s. I don't know. I'm not sure. Edited to add. Second. I have an appointment 5/1 to speak with our tax preparer, but in the meantime, I have submitted my payment to the IRS. Thank you all for your report. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's great. All you can do is go ahead and pay it. And then if you need to amend it, and then they can give it back to you. If it makes sense to itemize. Most time it's not going to make sense to itemize. Help. Just found out my 2018 Jeep Compass needs a new engine. Well, sometimes when it needs a new engine or a new transmission, that's when we unfortunately have to call time of death on the vehicle. That does happen. I only owe $6,000 on it. Cost of new engine could be up to $3,000. Do I do the repairs or look at trading it in for something else? I would not trade it in. You can sell it. But do not involve the dealer. You buy and sell private sale and leave the dealer out of it. That means a better deal for you both ways, buying or selling. So that's up to you though. 2018 Jeep. So here's the deal. So, I mean, you could, instead of putting the new engine in it for 3K, you could buy a $3,000 car to replace it and sell the Jeep for scrap, or as is, and then you still have to make the payments on it, but you wouldn't have a payment in the car you paid cash for. Blah, 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 blah. Not to mention, I'm 5 months pregnant and trying to save for baby's arrival, and I just put 4 new tires on it. They cost me $900. Yeah. And do you want to do that? Yeah, that just sucks. So maybe you sell it for scrap without the tires and keep your tires, and put them on the new vehicle, the new to you vehicle. So yeah, that does suck that happened. So also, you wouldn't necessarily put on 4 new tires on a 7-year-old vehicle. How about used tires instead? And they wouldn't cost $900. That would cost you like $200. And so if it's only $200, guess what that could happen? Guess what that could do? That could put on tires 4 more times. I mean, used tires may wear down quicker, but the same amount of money, you could replace those used tires 4 times. You're doing it wrong. I have a Roth 401k for work with a small match by the company. They just implemented this a few months ago, and I was able to get signed up. And while I'm not investing 15% at 12% currently, why are people nutty like this? Why are people nutty? It says 15% right here. So what is going on in your mind that for you it's fine to do 12? Let's read further, shall we? My question revolves around my investment options. Per Dave on the radio show, splitting the investments between growth, aggressive growth, growth and income, and international. Yes. However, when signing up, there were no international options to choose from. So currently, I have the following percentage breakdown: growth and income 25, growth 50%, and aggressive growth 25. What's the proper breakdown for investment categories when international isn't an option? Then you would open a Roth IRA and get your international in that. And also check with the freaking brokerage company that is running the show there with your company's investment plan and see if they can get you one in there, even though they don't have international options in the list. And also, you should change all of that if you're if those are target date funds, because if those are target date funds, they're not being aggressive at all, and they got bonds and other crap in them. So don't do that. In that case, you would prioritize the match first. With the small, you would prioritize the small match because that's 100% rate of return. But then after that, you would max out your Roth IRA first, where you have the more choices, and then finally it would go back to the Roth 401k that you have limited choices in. In my pre-Dave years, one of the many stupid things I did was take out several payday loans. Yep. That's pretty dumb. Fortunately, I never did that dumb crap. One of these was a company called CashNet USA. Yeah, they get fun names like that. They operated more like a line of credit. They are now coming after me, trying to say that I never paid them back. Now they want $4,600 for me to cover court costs, etc. Original loan amount was $500. Apparently, they have tried to reach me several times, but to no avail. I don't think this is true. However, I moved out of state in 2021. All right. So they wouldn't have your, they might still have your phone number, but they wouldn't have your address, maybe. I started getting out of debt in 2019 and included them in my pay debt payoffs. As best I can tell, I have not owed them anything since 7/5/19. I have statements and even an email stating my balance is zero. Well, that would seem to clear everything up, I would think. I was called yesterday by a law firm and they told me I'm being sued. However, they said I didn't have to do anything at the moment because the company can't serve me as they don't know where I am. So if that's a law firm that's representing that company, he could ask you for your address and then they could serve you. I mean, you don't have to give it to him, obviously, but I mean, is that their law firm? If it's not their law firm, then it probably is some kind of scam. They could try to serve my sister, or because we don't try and do something, we try to do something. Try to serve my sister or our parents on my behalf. I don't think they can. I don't think they can unless their names are on, unless they co-signed. I don't think they can do that. The company provided several options to settle out of court. Of course they did. The cheapest was a lump sum of $1,800. The lawyer explained that the company has to prove that they reached out to me. Okay, and so again, if this lawyer does not represent that company, because it doesn't sound like, it sounds like he wants to be buddy-buddy with you and is trying to help you out. And so that does seem totes sus. After the phone call, I looked up the information and confirmed I had indeed paid them back. Yeah, considering just letting this run its course, and if I do end up going to court, a big hassle since I don't live in the state anymore, sure. I just being my proof. You mean bring my proof? My question is it possible this is a scam? Yes, very much so. What should I do? Yeah, I mean, I would let the company get in touch with you. So, but the law firm, when they called you, why did they call you? Generally, it would be to, and how does he know what they provided as options to settle? So, I mean, that's so weird. I mean, maybe they come at you this way because it is actually the law firm that represents the company, but they try to try to say things like, well, they can't serve you because they don't know where you are. So you're fine, trying to convince you that they are looking out for you, that they have your best interests at heart, and so which they shouldn't. If they represent the company, they should be trying to get the money for the company. So yeah, I would have to see something. I would have to be served. I would be served. And then you can sue for, I mean, I know it's a hassle, but it's possible you could even call a lawyer there and not have to appear in court. Maybe can sell it for you or something like that if it should actually be the case. But your thing said zero, but again, you gotta read the stuff. This is like the car thing, the car rental thing, where it was $1.15 per mile over the allowance. And so the customer didn't realize that. And so if this is something in their terms, that the problem is that you take out several payday loans, right? And you signed something. Now, that doesn't mean that if it shows zero balance one time on something, I mean, if it's an email, you would think that means it's paid in full and then that's it. But, or like if you didn't close the account, maybe it stays open and there's a monthly fee. Who knows? Or it could be that when it was zero balance, they hadn't applied interest yet or something dumb like that. And then that's grown since then. But, who knows? Anything could be the case, but they do have to prove it. Unfortunately, though, they can also sue you, whether they have merit or not. That's how the law works. And so if we go to Back to the Future 2, where Doc Brown says the justice system works swiftly now that we've abolished all lawyers, and it would run quicker for sure. So yeah, it could be a scam though. Just made my final car payment. First time I can ever say that. I was able to hustle and side hustle and make ends meet while snowballing this debt from 30K to nothing. So thankful for the tools I've gotten and seeing other people share their stories. That truly motivated me. Also, it's been huge to see how much of an impact being on the same page with your partner has with finances. Indeed. So huge. Next is crushing the rest of the student loans. More motivated than ever. Great. Hi all. Just got a letter saying that we have an escrow shortage amounting to $2,000 and an increase due to property tax and home insurance, and we have to pay $280 more in our mortgage, maybe our. We are in California State as there might be a California city. California State. Called them and they said we can apply for tax exemption for homeowners. Is this going to help reduce our mortgage? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the law would be. I don't know what the tax law would be for that. I don't know what kind of exemption you would get. But normally, homeowners have to pay property tax. What are the pros and cons of doing this? I need advices, please. Advice is plural as well. You don't want to add the S to it. We're a young couple who just bought a home last 2022. 280 increase in mortgage is a lot for us. Okay, so that means you probably bought too much house to begin with, and it's in California. So if you don't make enough money to where, or if you only make the amount of money where you think $280 is a lot of money, then you definitely got problems. But as far as what the tax exemption would be, I don't know. You'd have to talk to a tax person or lawyer or Google it first, and if you can't understand it, then try to call the tax person. Tax advisor. So I don't know what California, what kind of tax exemptions California would have that would help reduce the mortgage. Maybe it won't reduce the mortgage. Maybe it'll just save you in income taxes. I don't know what the person was talking about. You say you called them, that the lender or the home insurance people or the property tax people. Who did you call? So if you called the mortgage people, what you can do is you can call them back and ask them this question as well. You can call whoever called you. You can call them and ask them. See if they know. But yeah, again, the main problem is going to be if $280 being increased in the mortgage is a lot for you, then you're in the wrong state and you probably bought too much house. And because you're in California, it's almost certainly too much house. Probably most people that live in California have too much house just because they cost a buttload there. Alrighty. Everyone have a good Friday. This is Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free consultation/assessment with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That is in the ticker below, also in the video description. You can email me about financial stuff, coaching, anything on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively to Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively yet still, Walmart gift card to Coach Steve Money. Of course, super chats on lives and on pre-recorded videos. Super thanks. Upcoming streams until further notice. This show, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show, starts at 5:27 Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day. Yep, that fell.